Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. I'm gonna get started very soon here. I'm just waiting maybe another 30 seconds or so for everyone to jump in. Um, Apologize last Monday, 2 days ago, the YouTube didn't work out for me for the stream. I was able to do the stream on TradingView. There is the TradingView stream here, but I couldn't do, they couldn't copy over to YouTube. So that's where it was for the previous one. But hopefully today everything will be good and now we can do a good stream today. I think there's a lot of movement today. There's a lot of movement today based on what I saw, all for good measures, right? Basically, most of these pairs that I mentioned, I think, except the indices, which didn't have any confirmation for us, but most of these pretty much are working out as expected. So good job on your part if you catch some of these run that I post yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. Tuesday, I think I post these ones. So they're working out pretty well, so that's good for us. I'm in a few of these positions that I will quickly go over, and then we'll get started with the outlook today. Okay, good, good, good. Nice to see you guys all. Nice to see you, all the familiar faces. Great, great. So we will get started now. Quickly go over just the positions that I'm live in. Just I gotta update everyone here in my Telegram. So these are positions I'm running right now. Kiwi Swiss, I think Kiwi Swiss is running really nice. We talked about Kiwi Swiss pretty much from last week when we talk about this overall structure here. We did have this impulsive break to the upside, so very, very clean. I saw some of you guys even caught in at the very bottom. Good job on your part. I was able to catch in somewhere here. I think it's running very, very beautifully. I think it's about 5% right now if I double check. It's running about 5% right now. And really, because we're breaking out of this basically higher time frame flag or higher time frame channel, if we break out here impulsively and then if we get some sort of continuation after we break out, I definitely do see this continue to push up. Basically, this will be the next impulsive run. So definitely looking forward to any possible scaling entries if that's going to work. Together with this impulsive move, correction, and looking for the next impulsive move. So this trade would be pretty big if I was able to get to the top here. Basically running about 5%, 5% right now, I want to say. So that's the biggest position I have right now currently. And I'll talk about pound Aussie and silver as well. So let's go over pound Aussie here. Pound Aussie finally was able to push down here. Last week, if you guys recall, on Monday open when I talk about I got one of the trade got tagged out. I update everyone here in Telegram. Um, there was a position I have on pound Aussie that was live through the weekend, and I end up taking a loss here when market opens here. So took a 1% loss. That's no problem, right? Because we know that the price action doesn't change. The overall price from a higher time frame to lower time frame doesn't change, and we're still looking for a potential sell down from the price, right? So basically, price formed this continuation correction. I was looking for the entry, and basically hover around to the top here, almost closer to where I was going to get tagged out here. But again, um, understand the process, understand your management, and then price eventually push down, followed by a correction. Now it's pushing out now, which is good. We not only push out, we also push out of this continuation kind of structure here, which is good. So if we get a little bit more consolidation here, I definitely do think there is more selling opportunity if it's going to happen. And looking forward to see how basically how this move will go, right? My main target is still going to be this bottom here. And if this correction is going to complete here, then I do expect price to get pushed down and maybe another correction halfway through, and then eventually push down to the lows here. Okay, so that's pound Aussie, and then I do want to talk about Aussie CAD because Aussie CAD I did take a loss here. But right now it looks like it's going to play out still as expected. So I'm going to very, very closely monitor this position. I think this has a lot of potential. So we talk about from the high time frame here, we push to the downside, and then instead of pushing down forward and more, we basically form an inverse head and shoulder, right? We basically form an inverse head and shoulder here, and then I was looking at this right shoulder for a possible entry. I did end up with a reversal order, which is one of the entry I talk about. There was a little bit of a good price action here. There is a little bit inverse head and shoulder here. So I waited for the 1 hour to give me some bullish kind of candle, and then together with the price action we have on the lower time frame, end up basically just entering with a entry order here. And price pretty much tagged me in, and then just really didn't really push up much. It pushed up and then kind of just moved down, and then basically hovering around the entry point and eventually tagged me out here. But again, this is the same thing as pound Aussie. Right? I could take a loss on pound Aussie, but I could quickly get back to a position if I think the price action is the same and I still see the bullish opportunity here. So after it tagged me out, it basically formed another smaller descending structure here. So we have this kind of a right shoulder, kind of a flag channel, and another descending channel here. And then now we have a bullish push up to the upside. So this is all good. So if we can get some sort of lower time frame continuation, that's what this would be a good entry here. Not only we kind of just break out this overall consolidation, we get a continuation here. I do expect this to be another entry here, and I'll closely monitor this area, and I'll kind of go from there and see how the price will do in the upcoming hours or so. So I'll set an alert here just in case I miss it, and take it from there. All right. And last one I want to go over is silver. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow today. So last one I want to go over is silver. Silver, I did take a loss here. If you guys recall, I updated this one in the previous update when I look at the positions I have. I think this was on Monday. Monday, all three of these positions, but silver, I did take a loss here when I see this bullish push up and followed by this correction. I think it was during Monday weekly outlook, I got to take a loss here. But price pretty much end up forming a bigger structure here, which is kind of fitting to my liking. I re-enter back here with a breakout entry order. I'll talk about silver, I'll talk about gold because they're basically the same. And they're basically pushing bullishly as what I mentioned in my gold video. So we'll go over these as we go. So those are the three positions I'm live in. So silver, pound Aussie, and Kiwi Swiss are the three positions I have live right now. Aussie CAD, I took a loss, but looking to enter back into Aussie CAD again. Okay. And that's about it. I'll obviously looking for scaling opportunity if on Kiwi Swiss if it plays out, but that's probably in the next day or so. Okay. So let's start with today's outlook. If you guys have any pairs, if you guys have anything that you're looking at for the week remaining, let me know in the comment, and I will certainly take a look if I can. Sorry, just talk a lot here, so let me follow up on what you guys are saying. Did I talk about dollar index? No, I haven't talked about the dollar index. I'm about to talk about it. But I just went over all the positions that I'm currently live in just to update everyone. But let's talk about the overall outlook. There seems to be some dollar movement. That happened. I'm not sure what it is. Did someone mention it was some news event or something? Is this some CPI news or something? I wasn't sure. CPI news. Okay, but it's really not too much here, right? It's like 0.1 off. But sometimes that happens. That's why. I mean, if no one even mentioned to me that I didn't even know there was some news event happening, right? So, but I guess that is maybe why some of the dollar has been moving. But let's take a look. Let's take a look kind of what we see now, and kind of go from there. Hey, Rainy, hopefully I pronounced your name right. Hey, thank you very much for the appreciation. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So let's get started now. Looking at the dollar index here. What do I think about the dollar now? Well, remember when this move kind of continued moving up, I was mentioning, well, I want to see what happens here in the top, right? I think I mentioned this in the weekly trading outlook on Monday or maybe the previous update. So kind of price is at this top now, right? Price is at this top now. So we want to kind of take a look at what the price is going to do at this top. I don't use fundamental facts, by the way. I just saw this question here. I don't look at fundamental at all, to be honest. I look strictly from a technical perspective. But of course, I will pay attention to any major news events, right? That's a good practice to be aware of, but I don't care about too much about fundamental news. Like if you're talking about these type of news events, I really don't care too much. So dollar index here, and pretty much when dollar pushed down here originally, it just didn't continue to a correction that I was looking for. It pretty much bounced back to the top. But again, this could be a double top here, or this could be a potential area for price to reverse. So it's a good idea to kind of pay attention to what the lower time frame is doing. So you could kind of see this as a more of a corrective move up, right? This is looking like an ascending channel that we're used to. And seems that price has pushed down here. So I'm not sure if this is going to reverse back up or we're going to get a little bit of consolidation here, which is kind of what we want to see if we want to see dollar kind of lose more strength and continue push down. That's kind of how I will see or look for in upcoming days. If this is this area, we're going to get a little bit more corrective. Even if this move continue moving up, but we start forming something like this in the next couple of days, this is obviously still a bigger kind of correctional structure. And then with together with the double top, we certainly can break down from the price and continue lower. Now that is kind of how I see on the dollar index. Now certainly if this is going to just push up here, then obviously there's no position, no entry. We're just going to reevaluate what's going on here on the overall dollar. But it looks like this, if it holds to this double top here, if price does indeed not break above, right, which is kind of consolidate here a little bit, then I do expect this move to continue push down afterwards. All right, so that's dollar index. Let's look at a few dollar pairs. It looks like there's a few dollar pairs that I think some of you guys were in. I think I saw a bunch of you guys were in Aussie dollar, right? Aussie dollar. I saw some of you guys roll the structure like this and then try and push down. So hopefully you lock in some profit or something here because it looks like it's reversing up now, right? This is why I think on Monday or on last week I mentioned about I'm a little bit more neutral on the dollar. I do see the sell that I think some of you guys were looking into. But I also kind of zoom out here and I saw like the overall price here does look a little bit more bullish like with a few swing highs and few swing lows. So that's why I'm more neutral on dollar pairs. And I also saw this kind of a descending structure moving down. So all that together with some sort of lower time frame movement that kind of, to me at least, to me personally, it contradict a little bit with the sell and the buy. So when that happens, I usually try to stay out of it. I usually try to just be like, okay, well, the sell makes sense, the buy makes sense. So I'm just going to wait a little bit more in this area to see a little bit more development. So now if this is going to be some sort of bullish push up, right? This looks like an inverse kind of shoulder pattern. Looks like this is pushing up now. So I'm not sure if this is going to give us a bullish opportunity here, if it's going to consolidate. If it does, that's good. Or if it just breaks out here and consolidate here, same idea. The bullish bias is there in my opinion. Now, because I think this sell bias that some of you guys are enter because they're this inverse head and shoulder, so it kind of invalidates the sell now. I'm not sure if you guys are holding your sell still or if you guys got profit here already, but I think it's a good idea now to be a little bit more cautious now because if this is going to continue, then form another bullish continuation, then I do expect this to continue moving to the top here. All right. Hello, Victoria. Nice to see you guys. Hello, hello. It's nice to see all you guys in familiar faces. So euro dollar, same idea here. Euro dollar originally was looking at like similar like dollar index, right? We had this kind of a descending structure. Was expect this reversal to at least to the top here. It basically pushed up about halfway here and then dropped down. So to me, it's just a structure that evolves, right? When we talk about evolving structures. So what was once kind of a falling wedge kind of structure pretty much end up into like a descending channel, right? You can see that what was once a falling wedge evolve into a descending structure. We talk about evolving structures. This is definitely a prime case of it. And now we actually hit this double bottom, right? So you can see that all this is a good confluence for a potential kind of bullish bias here. Okay, and I like how when we move down here, if we zoom down to the lower time frame, there's almost like a smaller, you want to call this a wedge or a descending shackle, doesn't matter, but basically showing you a little bit of reversal while in this bigger evolve kind of descending structure here. Okay, so all that to me is going to give confluence here. We just had a bullish breakout now. Basically looking forward to see if we're going to get further continuation to the upside, right? So that's kind of how I see it. But again, you can see that most of these dollars I'm just flagging them green because I definitely want to see a little bit more development. It's just like what someone asked me in the Telegram yesterday, what I think about the Aussie dollar or dollar in general. I think the dollar, like I said, I'm more neutral till today. But if this little bit of bullish run is going to kick off most of these dollar to more further weakness, then I will likely to want to get involved in some of these dollar pairs. Okay, so that's euro dollar, pound dollar. Pound dollar. I think some of you guys got in on the pound dollar based on what I saw on Telegram. So if you're in pound dollar, good job. That's pretty much kind of what I was expecting in this area here after I see this bigger structure. Now I think there was a double bottom here. We have this impulsive break, and I was kind of looking to see if we're going to get some sort of continuation to the upside. So there was a little bit of consolidation. This is good for us. And then if we look into the lower time frame here, we have this bullish push up, we have this kind of correction here, and basically had a pattern separation, right? Again, something that I talk about in our workshop. If you're not familiar, make sure you watch this workshop that explains about pattern separation and a bunch of other more in-depth stuff on price action. So basically, we have this pattern separation, and then we have this almost like a descending structure, and then we have a impulsive break, and almost there's a smaller descending structure as well. Didn't really point it out, but I think that is good for the learning purposes here. I didn't catch this, of course, but I saw some of you guys catch this one. So if there's going to be further upside, I do expect this to continue pushing to the upside. If we get a little bit of a consolidation here, then that will be good for the price to resume its bullish trend. And I do expect if this is going to be a correction here midway, so basically impulsive move, corrected phase, and then expecting the next impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so that's pound dollar. So let's go over dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, I saw many of you guys got in on this. At least I saw 4 or 5 of you guys got in. At least the ones that show, at least the ones that post on Telegram. So good job on your part. And many of you guys all got in on this sell here. So there was a pretty good profit here that you guys caught. Now I think the cautious here now is if this is going to continue to the upside, this has to form some sort of correctional structure and then be able to push up. And because basically you can think of it as this is breaking out of this structure now, right? So this was what was once a descending structure here, impulsive break, continuation correction. We break out of here. So another lower time frame correction here basically could kick off to the next high. Okay, but you also have to understand because most of these dollars are kind of losing strength. So is dollar Swiss going to continue the strength, or is it going to pretty much kind of move sideways here for a little bit long time before deciding which direction to go, right? Again, because we talk about all these dollar pairs that are losing strength. So not sure if dollar Swiss will continue its bullish run. Or is it going to consolidate a little bit bigger, just kind of moving sideways here? So just be careful here. If you got in on the SPY here, if you're in pretty good profit, I would definitely moving up the stop loss here, at least secure some profit here, and then just kind of re-evaluate to see what's going to happen in this area here. Okay. Any question here on dollar Swiss? Euro dollar, is this true for the 4 hour? What you said about 2 hour? What do you mean? Sorry, 4 hour, 2 hour. What's the difference here? It's the same, right? Whatever I talk about on the 2 hour will be the same as the 4 hour. So 4 hour, same thing, descending channel. 2 hour, same thing, descending channel, smaller wedge, and looking for potential reversals, right? So that's continue. Let's continue to dollar yen here. Dollar yen, this is kind of what I'm looking at. I wasn't looking at this earlier, but I thought it's looking pretty clean now. So I do want to take a look a little bit more in depth. I think dollar yen here after price kind of pushed down here, and then looks like there's a bigger structure. Remember we talked about this in the Monday's weekly outlook. I mentioned, oh, this is breaking out now. So if any of you guys are looking for a buy, you need to be waiting for some sort of continuation, because at the time on Monday I mentioned I'm a little bit more neutral on this area. Now, because we basically, if we look closely what's going on here on price, I think this is pretty good for, again, almost like a learning curve or a case study here is what was once looking like a descending structure, right? This is kind of a descending structure. Price impulsively break out, but did not form continuation. This is really the key here is did not form continuation for the upside. Instead, what will happen is we break this previous high, and then there's a reversal impulse, right? So when the reversal impulse kind of price action happens, this usually gives you a very strong probability of a potential reversal, right? We talk about this type of price action a lot, and this usually happens when the trend or the previous momentum is pretty exhausted, and basically when you have a reversal like that, it may kick off the next kind of reversal trend to the downside. So this is the beginning. Of course, we're not sure what's going to happen here, but looking like we might get this kind of as a double top here, and we have a lower time frame impulse to push to the downside. So basically, is looking at this area to see if we're going to get consolidation here. Right? If we get consolidation here, I do think this overall structure is still a bigger structure or bigger continuation for this impulsive move. And if we get the sell here, the thing again, it's going to be at the beginning of this potential sell and potentially to the bottom here. Okay, so something like this will be pretty interesting to look out for, but I think it's also a good idea to be a little bit more patient here, just kind of waiting to see what this overall area will do on the lower time frame. I think getting in on a sell here, it will be ideal if because we're at the very top, and if we look at the overall price here, because again we break up, we failed to break higher. I just don't see any bullish kind of activity or bullish price action at this current area here. But certainly something can develop in the further. But as of now, when I see the lower time frame, I think this is kind of what I see here, and potentially looking for another down move from the top here. Okay, so that's dollar yen. Any question on the dollar pairs before I move on here? I think there's a few dollar pairs that are potential, right? Potentially in development here. Well, we'll see how they goes in the upcoming days or so. So let's move on here. Again, remember I talk about I'm not really interested in any of the yen pairs except the dollar yen I just went over today. There's really not much yen pairs that is on my watch, unfortunately. I just don't see too much development. I don't know what you guys are seeing in terms of the yen pairs. You're welcome to share with me some screenshots if you have. But I don't see much development here on any of the yen pairs, at least from my view here. Okay. Now, certainly something could develop, but I'm more neutral on this point. Just like on Monday when we were talking about the yen pairs, I really don't see much, in this latest kind of price action. So I'm not trying to, I don't try to, trying to put in some line here or trying to put in some line here. If it doesn't make sense, I just leave it be. More on the sideline, more neutral about this. And then we'll see how they go. Okay, so sometimes that's going to happen, everyone. When you don't see much developing, there's no point or there's no need to try to force anything or join anything. It's really not necessary, right? It's better off to focus on the ones that are working very well and then, try to capitalize on the other ones that are shaping up to be good entries or good potential. So let's talk about Euro-Aussie here. Euro-Aussie was one of the ones that I mentioned in my Telegram that was a pretty good entry. I think there's some of these ones are working out pretty well. So let's take a look into these ones. Euro-Aussie here. So let's take a look. Finally, Euro-Aussie broke down, right? We talk about this as a pattern separation. So ascending channel moving up out of this parallel channel, but the overall down move doesn't change, right? This is still a down move. This is just a larger period of consolidation. And finally, we were able to kind of break out of this channel here. And then there is the first continuation. So I do expect this move to eventually push down to the low. Now, if we look at the lower time frame here, we talk about there is a good few good confluences here is that we have this mini double top, we have this ascending channel, and while in the ascending channel, we have another ascending channel as well, right? So basically, impulsive breakdown, and then first kind of continuation correctional structure that is tangible on the lower time, and basically looking for a entry, right? So I'm not sure I'm not sure if anyone of you guys got in on this or you guys choose pound Aussie instead, but basically they're pretty similar price action here, right? In my opinion. Now we're basically looking to see if this is going to be a correction here that's just going to push down the price. I do expect it. I do expect it. Same with kind of pound Aussie. I think once we see something like this, there's a better probability we're just going to push down the price to the low here. Okay. Dollar CAD, yeah, dollar CAD. Didn't go over dollar CAD, but basically it's going to be similar bias here, in my opinion, for dollar weakness, right? If we look at dollar CAD here, what was once very strong bullish push up to the price, if you can see, we impulsively break off. We break above this ascending channel on the higher time frame, but there's just no continuation to go higher, right? I think that's the key thing here. Once this move has happened, and when I see a impulse up, reversal impulse down, followed by continuation, that to me at the time, meaning to me at least, the bullish trend or the bullish momentum is exhausted, right? So a reversal is imminent or likely. So basically impulse down, correction, impulse. So if this is going to be another correction to go lower, then I do expect this to continue falling. But I'm not really entering any of these dollar positions. I think there are some dollar positions are slightly better. What I mean slightly better because they're at the bottom of the current price action, like Aussie dollar right now, impulse, correction, impulse. They're at the bottom right now, which means there's a lot more room, a lot more potential upside, just like Kiwi dollar. They're at the bottom here as well, and Euro dollar bottom here as well. Whereas dollar CAD, if you're talking about reversal, they're not at the bottom anymore. It kind of break out of this descending structure on the higher time frame. So basically, if I need to filter them, remember we talked about filtering process, where you're going to choose for dollar to enter, it's best to not enter all of them, right? It's best to not enter all of them. I made this video on risk management, if I can recall, how to filter trading opportunity if multiple setups are presenting, because that is how you should be doing to be a consistent trader. Now you might see on social media people enter a bunch of dollar positions, people enter buy here, buy there, buy here. I mean, that's all up to their discretion. But from a person, from if you're trading, I would say if you're trading a larger account, larger capital, you really wouldn't be entering so many dollar positions at once because you're putting your account at risk. Right? People who have tiny position, tiny accounts, small account who wants to grow the account, they might want to enter more of the same pair. That's up to their discretion, of course, in their trading plan. But for me, like I said, if you have a larger account, you really wouldn't enter multiple dollar positions. And if I need to filter these dollar positions, I would choose the other dollar over dollar CAD here. Okay, so let's move on here. Euro Swiss. Okay, Euro Swiss looks like very, very clean here as well. I think a lot of you guys are looking at Euro Swiss, so let's take a look. Now, I like how we have, again, the impulsive move is very, very clear, right? We know that impulsive move, and we know that after impulsive move, there's going to be a period consolidation, which is exactly what we have here. Now, this breaking below doesn't change anything, right, guys? We talk about this is that this is a pattern separation, but it doesn't. Pattern separation sometimes will help you to strengthen your overall analysis, or sometimes it will give you almost a signal to disregard the previous outlook. So basically, this impulse followed by a continuation kind of a channel or flag, and at the end, the pattern separation is a descending structure. We know descending structures are reversal in nature, so when we see something like this together with this higher time frame structure, this is only going to add confluence, which is exactly kind of what happened here. We have descending structure, we have impulse to the upside. So what do we do now? Well, wait for continuation, right? This is exactly what price will do. Is if they start getting consolidation here, and basically this can be the next entry to the upside here. and you can look like there is potentially forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern as well. Inverse head and shoulder, bottom of the overall price, continuation correction, basically all putting out to the top here, right? So be patient here, right? If there's no entry here, there's really no entry here at this moment, but I'm sure there's going to be potential entry shaping up in the next couple of days or even next few hours or so. If we get a consolidation here, something like this, we don't know how big or how long this correction would be, but something should be somewhat reasonable at the same as the one on the left side. So at least this will be a very clear inverse head and shoulder, and basically looking for the upside move afterwards. Um, Honestly, my friend, I don't really trade those, I want to say exotic pairs. I could quickly go over them once I finish all the Forex pair I can go over, but I really don't trade those exotic pairs, by the way. So, how do you distinguish continuation and consolidation? You have to be a little bit more clear on which part is continuation and consolidation, because I'm not sure which part you're talking about. Um, if you're talking about here, continuation and consolidation is really the same thing, right? We're talking about a continuation correction. A continuation correction is a consolidation period. So they're basically the same thing. I think that's what you meant. I'm not really understanding your question, to be honest. But basically, to me, this is a period consolidation, but it is a correction to go down. And then this is a descending channel. So this is a correction moving down. And then we have an impulse lead break, right? What happens here and what happens here really doesn't matter, because this is showing you that a descending channel is a reversal, which it happens. And after we have this bullish reversal impulse price action, we talk about if we have an impulse like this and followed by a continuation afterwards, this kind of price action has a very good probability, which is kind of what we're getting here right now, right? So if we wait for a continuation here, this gives you a very good probability for a bullish up move here, okay? So Euro Kiwi, Euro Kiwi. I think some of you guys going on Euro Kiwi as well. So good job on your part. We basically have this strong impulse to push to the downside, and basically this to me is a larger continuation now, right? What was once I was looking at as a bullish correction, end up just continue to correct into a bigger correction, and there's a lot of consolidation in between. And I remember during this time, so many people are trying to buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, and the price is just not getting anywhere. But once this correction finishes, right, we have a few swing highs and a few swing low now. And to me, this impulsive move is still very, very key. We have this kind of correctional structure, and finally we break out of this correction here, right? And then there is a lower time frame continuation. And I saw some of you guys post your charts and you're looking for sell here, and I think that's definitely correct in this kind of sense. And price push down, looks like there's going to be a little bit more consolidation and might push down lower and lower. So, but let's see how it goes, right? I think this is very, very similar like Kiwi Swiss, but they're basically inverse related. So I already in Kiwi Swiss, so I'm not looking to enter Euro Kiwi, but I would think it's the same kind of idea here, looking for price to eventually reach down to the previous low. I think this is good risk reward here, good entry here, right? We have a breakout, we have an impulse down, correction, we impulse down, correction after breakout, right? One of my entry that I always talk about, and then looking for push down to the low here. I don't see much on Aussie yen. By the way, I mentioned earlier, I don't see much on any of the yen pairs, so I really don't see much on Aussie yen. Maybe there is some bullish activities here, right? We have an impulsive move, reversal impulse continuation. This looks like it could continue higher, but I really don't see much here. I'm not really interested in any of the yen pairs because I'm more neutral on it and I don't see much development here. So I'm better off staying away from any of the yen pairs. Let's continue here. Pound Aussie. So pound Aussie, I think most of us are in this position, and we'll see how it goes moving forward. Talk about this pretty much since last week when we talk about the overall time frame. The overall trend is bearish, right? Impulsive break, correction here, and then we have a pattern separation here. But doesn't change the fact that this is just a long period of consolidation for this move. And basically, if we look closely here on the lower time frame, we basically have this impulsive breakdown and then followed by some sort of continuation correction making. So this is good for us to, but then basically looking for further downside. Now we have this correction here. We impulse down, correction, we impulse down again. So kind of looking at this is that we break all there, but is it going to give us a consolidation here? Right? If this is going to start reversing back up, then adjust your entries, maybe adjust your stop loss if needed. But if we start getting a little bit more consolidation here, then I do expect this to continue push down afterwards. Okay, so watch out for this area here. That's why I said alert here, just to kind of watch out what the price will do. I didn't really want to tag out for a break even here. So if this is going to reverse back up, I'll look to exit or manage the position accordingly. But if we're just going to consolidate here a little bit longer, forming a bigger correction, and I will let the price do that, and we'll see how it goes. Pound Kiwi, also another pair that I mentioned in the Telegram. I think it's very similar like Pound Aussie or Euro Kiwi, same idea here. Higher time frame structure doesn't change. Impulsive move to the downside, correction here. And basically we have another correction here. We impulsively break. So this could be a correction after breakout if you're into this. But I think breaking out of the higher time frame because we're getting so close to it is probably better ideal, right? So impulsive break, continuation, and then expect this to reach the low. I think there's lots of risk reward if this move does play out, but I think waiting for the breakout here is going to be more safer or more easier to get in on this one. Okay, so that's pound Kiwi. I'm going a little bit faster and a little bit behind time, but let's go through a few more ones to wrap it up Forex, and I'll touch on those exotic pairs, and then we'll go to other market. Aussie cat. So Aussie cat, I mentioned I took a loss here in the beginning, but when I was looking at this as a potential right shoulder to break out, right? Price did take me out here, but everything else looks clean for a re-entry, right? This is the same thing as pound Aussie when I took a loss here, um, but nothing changes from the price action point of view, and I can easily re-enter back into a position as long as that fits my overall plan to enter. So Aussie cat, I think, is looking really clean if we look at the overall time frame. Went over this earlier in the beginning. We have this inverse head and shoulder. We have price basically failed to continue. Right, I think the overall downtrend has finished. Right, this move has happened. Correction, down move has happened. Bunch of these sell position that I think a lot of us got in. And when I see this parallel channel fail to continue and then giving us a inverse head and shoulder, again, pattern separation from here, right? What was once a parallel channel for a impulse correction to go lower basically separate itself by forming an inverse head and shoulder here. And we're looking for a potential bullish opportunity now because this is giving you that inverse head and shoulder at the bottom of the overall price action, right? It's at the bottom here now. And we do have this potential double bottom here on the price as well. So all this is going to add confluence to what we're looking for. And basically, I will be looking for a re-entry here if we get a consolidation here, which looks like it is consolidating and basically waiting for consolidation to happen and expecting a potential up move to at least the high here, if not to the high here, and then basically see how this how this move will kick off in the next few days or a week or so. Okay, so I'm very still interested in this buy position, and even though taking a loss here, which is very fine, I'm looking to re-enter back into position if we have the right price action here. All right. And moving on to Aussie Swiss. So Aussie Swiss, same idea as Kiwi Swiss, very clear. If we zoom out here on the higher time frame, when you see this impulsive move, when you see this continuation, basically showing you that there is going to be further upside. So this is further upside. We continue pushing the price up, right? And then naturally, after this kind of impulsive move to the upside, price needs to correct, which is kind of what we start getting here on the price, right? So all this is just a pure consolidation after we basically impulsively break off on the previous higher time frame correction here. So again, after a higher time frame impulse, again, naturally price needs to correct, which is exactly what happened here. And we have this pattern separation once again to this previous higher time frame flag or parallel channel. So again, this is giving you strength or giving you extra confluence because a bullish impulse followed by a bullish continuation, and we have a descending structure at the bottom of this overall higher time frame correction. It adds confluence for a potential buy, right? So descending structure, we finally is breaking above now, which is good. This is kind of exactly what we want to see. And if there's going to be lower time frame continuation, I think this is certainly valid for the buy and then potentially continue to the top after. Just like Kiwi Swiss, this is Aussie Swiss is a little bit slower, but it's the same price action nevertheless, right? Still the impulsive move, still the correction. You're still expecting the next impulsive move. Just whether or not it's going to happen right away or slowly happen, it's up to the market, of course. We can't control that. But everything here is looking clean for the upside move. Okay. Last one to go over Kiwi Swiss, right? So same the position that I'm in, but if you look this out here, it is the same price action, right? Impulsive move, continuation, the same continuation price action here, right? Same bullish move that has happened on Aussie Swiss is happening on Kiwi Swiss. So same idea here, right? Impulsive move. We know there is going likely to be some sort of consolidation to resume the up move. And now if you look closely, we have that higher time frame parallel channel, higher time frame flag. And within the higher time frame flag, this is pattern within pattern. Right? Remember, when we went through this workshop last week when we talk about patterns within patterns and pattern separation. They're very closely work related, right? Patterns within pattern means a structure within the actual structure. Pattern separation is a structure that's moving away from the structure, but it gives you a little bit better confluence if it's aligning up with the overall bias. So here in this example, Kiwi Swiss, we have its descending channel and another descending channel. So basically smaller descending channel within the medium descending channel within the higher time frame descending channel. Right? So all these are just extra confluence that you can add to your analysis that's going to strengthen your overall outlook, right? And I didn't get in at the very bottom. I saw some of you guys did get in on the bottom, so that's very good for your part. So this massive run has pushed up now. I managed to get in somewhere here because I see a breakout on this medium descending channel. But good job on your part if you catch on the bottom here. Now we're at the top here, which is exactly kind of what I'm pointing out in this forecast. If price continue to break out, which I do expect it happens, then expect a consolidation here, right? Expect a bullish consolidation and then looking for the next move up to the top. That is how I will approach this. That's how I will scale in this position if that happens. And this will be a pretty massive run if I was able to hold this position and then scaling into a middle position and expect price to hit the top here in the weeks to come. Okay. Bitcoin, yeah, of course. I'm finishing up the Forex. I'm finishing up other markets. I always leave crypto at the end, but I will make sure to go over it. So I apologize. I have a lot to go over. But I always go over Forex, commodity indices, and crypto in that order. I have a lot of crypto to talk about as well, so just bear with me on this, okay? So lots of crypto, lots of things to talk about, but I will talk about it eventually. Now, I'm not sure whoever asked me about those exotic one, I'll quickly go over it. I'm not seeing much here on Euro Polish, to be honest. I don't really see much here. And dollar Polish. I want to say there's probably some sort of structure here, and this is an impulsive breakdown. So if this move continued to the top here and then some lower time frame rejection, then this can be a potential down move. That's what I see on dollar Polish. I didn't see the same thing on Euro Polish, but I think dollar Polish here looks something like this and could be a potential downside like this. But again, I don't trade these exotics. Usually exotic pairs are going to have bigger spreads as well, right? So I personally don't like trading them. Certainly don't mind if that's in your plan to trade, right? But I don't see much here on Euro Polish. I don't see the same kind of price action compared to dollar Polish, which looks like a little bit more bearish to me, right? So let's move on here. If there's no other question, let's move on to other markets now. Got stuck here a little bit longer, but let's continue here. I want to go commodities here. I want to go about gold and silver. Seems like that is what everyone is looking at currently. You're welcome, Parth. I hope that explains. Like I said, I only see dollar Polish a little bit more bearish. Euro Polish, I don't see much there. You're a good analyst. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So let's look at gold here. So I made this post on yesterday, if I can find it. So I make this outlook here on gold. I kind of basically talk about gold and silver in what I see them. So you're welcome to watch this idea if you're interested. This is on TradingView if you're interested. Now, what I see on gold and silver is that when I see this move pushing down, which is kind of exactly what I was looking for, is when I see this, I expect price to push down somewhere here before a potential reversal. So on Monday opens, we did get this push down, which is kind of what I was expecting. And then it hit this bottom here, and I said, well, if it doesn't continue lower, if we start getting bullish reversal, I kind of expect this area here to be the one that's kicking off here. And then this is kind of what we're seeing here today. Now, in this video, I talk about that there is a potential that either the price is going to kind of reverse up from here from a bullish kind of perspective, a bullish lower time frame correction, or we might get another move down from the price to the bottom of the channel here. Either or, that's kind of how I see, because my long-term outlook is going to be bullish here in this example. Now, if we see closely here on the lower time frame, to me, we are getting that breakout now. If you look closely here, again, I think this is how the market tends to trap a lot of people, is when you see this kind of move down, this is from some sort of news event, right? If anyone's live here, can you let me know what the news is for this? I forgot. It's something to do with someone sold gold or bought gold or whatever the case. Let me just see. I forgot something. There was some news about someone sold gold or something like that, right? If anyone can find, I'll be appreciated. But anyways, there was something that happened, so this crash, right? Now, every time I see something like this, and then when I see a bullish reversal, this is usually always going to be a sign for me to not sell, rather than looking for a potential reversal. Okay, because market tends to do this, and if you think about it, this happens, it's like almost like a flash crash, so to speak, right? If you look at like the 5 minute or even lower than that, this happens literally in like 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, usually a lot of people trying to get in on here to sell, right? Again, this is exactly how I would say FOMO. Okay, I put it here just for learning purposes, of course, not judging anybody or making fun of anyone. I'm just pointing out here because a lot of traders are going to jump in here to sell. They think this is going to just start dropping down like this. Usually when they try to jump in after the move has happened, it backfires on them, right? This is kind of exactly what happened here. When price just kind of start having a reversal up move, yeah. So what I see here now on gold is because this impulse down wasn't followed by continuation to go lower, wasn't even followed by reversal. What is a reversal impulse, right? Again, we talk about this many times, right? This type of price action, push down, reverts back up, followed by continuation that has a very good probability of taking off. And that's even just on a lower time frame. If we zoom out here on a higher time frame, this kind of fits exactly what I was looking for, is a move down to this previous low here. This previous low here was the previous low when this buy move happened, right? When this impulsive move has happened. So this area here is pretty significant, right? This area here is pretty significant. Price pushed down, failed to break lower, reverse back up, looking like there is a impulsive move. So I do think this has reasonable to kick off the next bullish run. If for any odd reason that this doesn't continue to the upside, and then we start dropping down, then I do expect this to correctively drop down to the bottom of this higher time frame structure, and then still possibly looking for the bullish reversal afterwards. That is how I plan to capture something like this. And it's actually looking pretty good at this given moment. So I'll see how the lower time frame continue to develop in the meantime. Okay. Now let's talk about silver here, because silver is the trade that I'm currently in, and silver is the same price action like gold, right? So silver is the same kind of price action like gold. We see this area here about halfway through this correction. And I mentioned a move down to the low here is significant. It will complete this potential structure, which is kind of exactly what it did. It hit the bottom here, which is good. So now we have an actual completion of this structure, right? Where we have a few swing highs and a few swing low, which is good for this continuation kind of price action. And we also have what on the lower time frame, some clear kind of bullish kind of price action. This is the same idea on gold. So it's the same approach, same kind of entry and things like that. I did take a loss here. I remember I updated this on Monday when I see this bullish reversal, and I thought this could be the first correction that it's going to take off the price. But instead, because this bullish move is so strong, it wasn't enough to be the one that's continued. So I took a loss here, and I was really kind of re-evaluate to see what the price will do. And I like how price is forming this kind of a triangle or pennant, however you want to call this, but to me it's a bullish continuation. And we're getting a few swing highs and a few swing lows, just like how I would expect a structure would be. And basically, I was looking for a breakout entry, right? Breakout entry, set the entry order, set the stop loss below the previous low, and price tagging here. And looks like it's just kind of consolidating this area. But I do expect price to eventually push up here, in my opinion, after this such a strong push to the downside. When does this happen? If I want to look at something, this is exactly something like this. When I push down from coronavirus, followed by a reversal and just kick off the next bullish run. And I talk about the bullish run is likely to fit it by a bullish continuation, right? This is where we are right now. Price is basically still consolidating here. Nothing changes, right? This is a consolidation period, a correction period, which we expected to happen. And impulsive break, push to the low, fail to break lower, potentially could kick off the next bullish run. So that's why I am more favor in the silver and gold positions, because they actually completed a higher time frame correction. Certainly, this may not be the one that's just going to break out now, but we still have lots of room just to the top here. Even if it doesn't break down and move to the downside, and still looking for a buy here from the bottom, right? That's because we know price action. We're not 100% sure if this correction is going to finish here, or it might consolidate here a little bit longer indefinitely. We don't know that, right? But we know every time when price are at the bottom and when we have lower time frame reversals, then it's a good idea to look for the long-term buy. In this case, I like silver a little bit more than gold, but I think they're basically the same. Right? They're basically the same depending on which one you choose. That fits your plan a little bit more. But gold, same idea. If I didn't enter silver here, I would have entered gold here. It's the same idea here, right? There's almost like a little correction here as well. So that's what I see on gold and silver. So I'm basically bullish on them, whereas I think a lot of people on TradingView or elsewhere, they're pretty bearish. And again, follow your plan, right? Follow your plan, follow your management, follow your interest, because looking at others and then kind of following them for entry, but if you don't agree with that, it doesn't work out in the long run, right? So have your own analysis, have your own plan. That's going to help you be a better trader overall, a more consistent trader overall. Okay. Okay, so other than that, I don't see much commodities. Unless you guys have any commodities you're wanting to take a look, I'm going to jump to the indices and then go to crypto after. Okay. Euro dollar, I went over that earlier in the beginning, to be honest. Not seeing too much here. Like I said, I'm more neutral on the dollar pair, like I update everyone on Telegram, but I do see a descending structure here. I do see another descending structure here. So if the lower time frame is going to give us some good opportunity here, I think this could be the one that's going to kick off. But that's up to your discretion to enter anything like that, right? I do like the double bottom here as well. I like how price evolved from a kind of a falling wedge into a descending structure, but doesn't change the overall price action. To me, is this is still impulse. This is a larger correction in the middle, and expecting this move to the upside. So let's take a look at some indices. So what do I see on Nasdaq here? Well, nothing changes, right? Nothing changes from a price action point of view. We're still in this kind of high time frame parallel ascending channel. Nothing changes, right? We didn't see price impulsive breakout, which is kind of every string I talk about. The only thing that's going to void everything I talk about here is we're just going to see a strong breakout and then continuation upside. If we don't see that, then to me, the downside is still possible, still a potential if we get the right price action, right? Mentioned this in my Telegram post. These are the three positions or the three possible forecasts or idea. I think those are the only one that hasn't worked out compared to everything else. And if we look closely here, I think it's just we're still in this little correction here, right? And nothing changes, right? So again, the confirmation here is an impulse break, continuation correction, and looking for the sell. I think nothing changes from here. Everything is looking very, very clean. We're at the top of the overall price. We can see that there's clearly a few swing highs and few swing lows of this price action. So again, we've seen this many, many times in previous, right? When we look at the previous kind of COVID time when COVID happens, this is basically identical, right? We talk about this price action tends to repeat itself over and over again. So this is why backtesting, doing chart work, getting familiar with the market is super important for you to identify the next potential run. So to me, just being patient here, right? Just waiting to see what will happen here, waiting to see this breakout, waiting to see this bearish continuation, and expect to sell at least down to the low of this higher time frame structure, and we'll see how it goes in the upcoming days or weeks. S&P 500, same idea, right? As long as price is still in here, nothing changes, and from my perspective, if this is going to push up again, then I'm not interested. If it's going to push up aggressively correction, then I'm not interested. But if this is going to be a reversal to push down, then I will look to potential enter here, or when it breaks out, enter here. US 30 kind of breaking above now, but again, same idea, right? If it breaks above and then followed by bullish continuation, then it will void everything I talk about here, just like S&P and Nasdaq. But if it does not, if this just pushes up and quickly push back in and continue lower, then nothing changes, right? The bearish momentum to me is still valid, and this correction looks like it still needs one more downside before the potential up move or before the complete breakdown and continuation. So right now, again, just being patient here, right? There is no entry here. Even if this ends up becoming some sort of high tech candle or something like that, that to me is not enough to enter. Right? What I really want to see is a complete reversal impulse down and then bearish continuation to push down the price to the low here. All right. So those are the three indices. That is the US one. I don't really see much else on the other indices, but I think Nasdaq is probably the best one I would choose over S&P and Dow Jones. I don't think Dow Jones is ready yet. I think S&P and Nasdaq looks pretty clean. I think Nasdaq is the cleanest one, just like this one. This one sell I got in last time just wasn't able to push down the price. It was looking really clean actually when I was looking at this. When was this? July. Yeah, when we see the same kind of price action, parallel channel, ascending channel, and then we have this breakdown, but just couldn't continue afterwards to the low. It just couldn't give us that bearish continuation from the price, end up creating an inverse head and shoulder pattern. If we look closely here, right? So impulsive break, continuation correction, got in on the sell, pushing downside, was expecting this to be another continuation. Instead, this becomes a reversal kind of consolidation period. push up to the price followed by a bullish kind of correction. So what do we get here? Right, inverse head and shoulder pattern, and then it start reversing that price. But to me, like I said, when the higher time frame structure doesn't change, as long as we're still in this higher time frame correction, then nothing changes here. I would still be looking for downside if the bearish momentum give me that confirmation. Okay, any question here, guys, before we move on to crypto? I think there's quite a bit of crypto I want to talk about as well, but any question on indices, commodities, and any Forex pairs? I'll go back to any Forex pair after for sure, but let's talk about crypto market quickly here. I think crypto market has been moving quite a bit, so which is good for us. Yeah, I talk about every time when I talk about Cardano here is that I have Cardano coins, right? I have Cardano coins. I think this is where I bought Cardano coins, so I'm just basically holding them. Right, make sure you understand there's a difference between trading crypto and holding crypto, right? I talk about this many times. There should still be traders and investors out there who isn't familiar with the two different terms. So I'm holding Cardano. I have physical coins. I'm just holding them for a long time. So we'll see how this goes. But it looks like there is a good opportunity here. I don't know any of you guys got in on this one. So I like how we have that descending structure here. And then we have this kind of inverse head and shoulder pattern on the when we break out of this descending channel. So there is a right shoulder here as well. And basically price impulsively break above now. So this is all good, right? This is all good for a bullish price action point of view. I do expect further upside actually. So if we get further upside, then I want to see what price will do when we reach all-time high here. If it's going to continue, to be honest, I do think there's going to be further upside and continuation upwards after this period of consolidation. Most of the crypto after this crash, instead of going lower after this kind of consolidation, this consolidation becomes a reversal kind of structure here, and then we're taking off now, which is kind of what we see across the board here. If we look at Binance Coin, same idea, right? So impulse to push the upside, reversal, push to the downside, and then this becomes a reversal correction to push to the upside. So we're slowly pushing to the upside now, which is good. I want to see what price will do when we reach this high here, and if it's going to break above and then continue, or is it going to just hit the high here and then push down, forming a bigger kind of a correction to go lower. And that's why this high here is super important for the price to break above and continue higher afterwards. Let's move on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, some of you guys are asking about Bitcoin, and to me, I don't see the bearish bias anymore. I did remember when we were talking forwards about halfway through before breaking above this high here. And I talk about there's a few possibility, right? This is at a given time. If the price doesn't impulsively break above and then it just kind of hit the bottom, hit the top here and reverses, then basically to me what might be forming a reversal correction. But price does indeed push to the upside, which is a good sign for all of us who are looking for bullish activities or bullish price action. Basically, what this end up happening is it creates a reversal type of correction, right? It's an expanding structure, and I talk about this in my price action videos. That reversal expanding structure is a little bit more advanced expanding structure here. So if you're interested, watch this video. Expanding structure is a little bit more advanced. It sometimes can be a continuation, or sometimes it can be a reversal. So in this case, to me, it is a reversal. We have this double bottom here. We have this reversal structure. We have this mini double bottom, descending structure here, and then impulsive break. Impulsive break above all this high. This is the key here is we broke above this high, and then looks like there's continuation. If we wait for a solid continuation price action here, then I do expect this to continue to the upside. Okay, so that's what I see on Bitcoin, but make sure you understand these are not signal. Please don't buy just because I say this is going to go up. I'm waiting for a solid continuation correction here because we broke above this high, so it proves that this could be a reversal structure, but only if this area gives us a consolidation that's going to kick off the next run. Okay. So that's Bitcoin. Let's move on here to Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin is also pushing up, which is good. If we follow by what was once a double bottom here that I talk about, and then price eventually pushed to the upside now, which is good. This is kind of what we expected to see. And basically what happens now is, are we going to get continuation, right? The move has happened, and we're basically hitting this high now, right? So I want to see price to just actually break above and then follow up by another correction here. That's going to help us to kick off a next bullish run. All right, so everything here is technical, guys. I don't really focus too much on news events or anything else like that or anything fundamental. We're strictly looking at from a price action point of view, right? That's going to give us a little bit better clarity on what the price may do. So that's Dogecoin. Let's look at Ethereum. The Ethereum is also looking very, very clean. It's pushing to the upside now, right? So if we zoom out here, again, what was once a bearish push down from the price falls into this kind of a reversal kind of structure. Talk about this bullish activity, this bullish buy. I know some of you guys got in on this buy as well. So very strong bullish push to the upside, very, very clean, right? So basically we have broke this high here, which is the high that I talk about. If we get consolidation here, right? So if we, because the price break this high, if we get consolidation here, I think this is definitely going to be another buying opportunity. Depending on how this consolidation will go, we don't know how deep or how long, but everything is looking clean as we reverse from this correction, impulsively breaking above this high. So continuation here will definitely give you another potential buy here, which is kind of what I'm talking about here. So be patient here. I think the consolidation is needed after this such a strong impulsive move. After the correction would be very, very nice to get back into the market. Link USD pushing up as well. So similar, like I said, right? All these crypto after that crypto crash, we form into some sort of consolidation correction, and they all lead to a bullish reversal, which is kind of what we're seeing right now as well. So there is a continuation here. So if you get in on that, good job. And this is likely to continue. We'll see how the price reach to this high, if it's going to break above or is it going to reach out here. But this is definitely a area of target here, in my opinion. Litecoin has been also pushing up as well. So all these are looking very, very clean, descending structure, reversal, and basically we're pushing up now. So very, very good. All these cryptos are looking good. So don't be discouraged if you didn't capture some of these. We're just at the beginning of this potential reversal, right? So there's going to be likely bigger correction and more potential entries later on in the road. So don't be discouraged if you didn't capture it, right? Because there's going to be more opportunities, right? There's going to be more entries, more scale-in entries and things like that, if that fits your plan, right? Matic is the one that's been pushing quite a bit as well. So good job on this one. Inverse head and shoulder, falling wedge, and impulsive break followed by continuation. Very simple, very easy to catch, right? I think all of these are looking identical. Again, it's the same as the correlation and same as risk management is you won't enter all these positions, but it's good to capture some of these. It's good to monitor some of these and get involved with some of these positions that are working out in your favor. Okay. So any question here, guys? Any question on the crypto pairs or anything else in general I can help you to answer? Some question here I missed. Sorry, on TradingView AVX. I'm assuming you're talking about crypto for AVS, or are you talking about a stock? Assuming you're talking about crypto. AVS, well, I don't really look at this, but it looks like it already taken off, right? So I think this was the buy entry here. So if you're not in the buy entry, I'd probably wait for another correction here. That's going to give you another buying opportunities. This is actually the first time I look at this crypto, so not much data here, right? Since end of last year. But it looks like this was the solid correction here that it formed. So if I form another one here, then sure. I don't recommend buying when it's already pushing up this massively, right? So How do you show ideas on this chart? Very simple. What you do is you need to create a post. Those of you who are not familiar with TradingView, what you need to do is you need to publish an idea publicly. Make sure you understand once you publish an idea, it's on your page forever after 15 minutes, so you can't delete them, you can't modify them or anything. This is a way for TradingView for people to showcase their idea, so it's not modified, right? Or it's not fabricated, so to speak. That's the word I use. So Ethereum. So once you post an idea on TradingView after 15 minutes, it's gonna be forever on your screen, right? It's gonna be forever on your screen where you can watch how it goes or whatever. How you make it show on your chart is you need to go on your chart, go on the time frame where the idea was published, right? So in Ethereum here it says 60, right? That means it's published on the 1 hour chart. So you gotta go to 1 hour chart and then you need to hover. You see the idea is gone, right? So all you need to do is you need to find a little bit of an error here. You need to find this little error here. You see this little green error here? This is where your idea will be. So to make it stay on your chart is you highlight over and click this. What do you want to call this? A pin or something? This is a pin, right? So pin your idea. So now that once your idea is pinned, it will always stay on this time frame. So I can always click it to go, right? That's kind of what I do when I do my analysis live stream, when I do my recap video, when I do everything. This is what I do. But all you need to do is click the pin or click it again so it disappear, right? So now it's disappear. If you want it to be on your chart, then it's to highlight it and then pin the idea plus this pin, and then now it will be on your chart. Okay, so I hope that is as clear as I can explain it. What are my thoughts on Cardinal? I did go over them earlier, so my thoughts are a continuation, right? Because the to me the reversal or like the reversal price action has already happened, right? So in this idea here, we talk about this descending structure here, and then we have this kind of a double bottom here as well, and inverse head and shoulder here as a reversal, bullish impulse followed by the right shoulder and continuation correction. So I already see this impulsive break to the upside. We're at this high here, so just have to be careful. I do expect either a consolidation here before we break above to go higher, or we're just going to break above and then form continuation. I think either way is fine. Obviously, I don't know what the price will do, but either way is fine to look for further upside, at least from my point of view. Only if you get this bullish continuation correction here. If it doesn't form here, if it start consolidating but correctively, like almost like a reversal, then you need to be careful here in this area, okay? All right, so that's Cardano. Any other question, guys, for any other pairs that you want me to take a look at? I've been talking about an R15 now, but happy to go through any pairs or anything that is on your watch list that I haven't gone over. So like I said, I am still in 3 positions. So still live in silver, pound Aussie, and Kiwi Swiss. So like I said, Aussie CAD is a position that I'm looking to re-enter if I get the right price action. But these are the ones I update everyone throughout the week that I'm currently in, currently here, and then we update today as well, right? So, but we'll see how it goes. I think there's a lot of pairs that are looking clean for further upside. Ooh, it froze. I think Aussie CAD could be one of them. So I like Aussie CAD. Like I said, I did take a loss on Aussie CAD, but I can foresee a potential re-enter opportunity or re-entry opportunity if this plays out. So. Most of my portfolio is Ethereum, but with how strong Cardano is lately, I'm not sure whether I should switch it around or hold majority ADA. Why don't you hold both, right? It's an option, right? You can have both. So why don't you either deposit a little bit more money to buy Cardano, or you can sell some of your Ethereum, right? And then, convert it back to fiat money or something. Or you can just buy, I don't know if your broker allow you to buy Cardano with Ethereum, possibly, right? But I think it's good. I personally have Cardano only. I've been holding Cardano from the bottom here that I talk about. I think it was somewhere here that I got in. So it's quite a bit, 0.35. I forgot how much exactly. Don't quote me on that. I think it was I bought it somewhere around here. So we're looking pretty good, right? So I'm holding it for long term. Like I said, there's a difference between holding crypto and trading crypto, right? So I'm holding the crypto because I'm expecting to hold it for the years to come, right? This is a better coin to hold. I think there's a few other coins that it's okay to hold. I think Cardano is okay. I think Binance Coin is okay. I think Ethereum is okay. Link is okay. Litecoin is okay. Matic is okay as well. And Ripple, of course, is also okay as well, right? So all these are bigger crypto. You notice I don't have too many, I don't want to say small crypto. I mainly focus on the bigger cap ones, right? Bigger market capitalization ones. Those are the ones I focus on more. Certainly nothing wrong to trade or hold smaller crypto. That's up to your plan, of course. But my primary is looking at the bigger ones, right? I think Cardano and Ethereum are good, right? They're good. There's good utility behind them, even though I don't really care about the fundamental. But like, I'm not an expert when it comes to what each crypto do or anything. I simply don't have time to research every single crypto. But I will look into what each crypto is doing, what their utilities are, and what they do, etc. As almost like a hobby or something to read about, right? Like I don't need to be dissecting into that part, but I'm more only focused on just the fundamental. I mean, focus on the technical of that, right? Fifty-fifty split, yeah, just do 50-50 split, or you can do 33, 33, 33, and you can put 33 in like Bitcoin or something. Dollars are, yeah, let's take a look. So I haven't looked at dollars or I haven't looked at it for a long time, but just kind of judging by what's going on here, it looks like there is a push down, correction, and push down again. But it looks like this is almost like a reversal, right? It's like a smaller descending channel. We reverse up, but not much here. I can tell, like not much development here. I'm not sure what you see on your end, Naka, but I'm not. I remember I was talking about that this could be a bullish push up, but as this start getting a little bit more consolidated, doesn't look as clean. It pushed down and kind of pushed back again, so similar like what the most of the dollar has been doing. But if this is going to be a top, I would have hoped this top would be at here, right? If this whole price action was at the top here, I think it would be like much better. Like if this was at the top here or something, right? And then you have this top right here, then I think selling here would be much more ideal. But because this is kind of like halfway of this current price action, so to me, it's not looking as clean, um, at least from my eye or point of view. Um, I would have hoped this would be a little bit higher, but looking at this right now, I don't really have a clear bias of what it's doing. Um, what was once looking like it can be a bullish push to the upside kind of diminishing now as we get a little bit more consolidated here. So I'm a little bit more neutral. I really can't point out a single direction here at this given moment. Okay. Euro pound, yeah. Lots of you guys are talking about Euro pound, right? So let's take a look at Euro pound. Oh, Euro pounds, not Euro Kiwi, sorry. Euro pound. No, I think most of you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, or if someone has a chart to share, welcome. Most of you guys are looking for a buy here, right? I think we talk about this in the weekly outlook as well. Now, I definitely do agree there is, or it's in need of a potential reversal, right? I don't know if this kind of fits my plan to enter because when I zoom out a little bit, to me, this is a massive downside, and to me, this can be just a correction to go lower. Now, nothing is for sure, of course, and I'm not saying this won't get happen, or at least this up move won't happen. It's just that this overall correction doesn't look like it's finished, and I do agree a up move is likely before the down move. But what if the up move just stop halfway and then start dropping down? That's also a possibility. So to me, because this up move is more short term, whereas the down move is higher time frame, they kind of contradict a little bit. While I do agree an up move is necessary or needed, I just don't know if that fits, at least for me, for my plan to enter when I see higher time frame could be just a potential bearish continuation price action. Now, if you're looking for entries, I think there is something developing here, right? This is kind of a descending structure. This almost look like an inverse head and shoulder as well, depending on how you want to enter this, of course, right? How you enter, your risk management, your stop loss, etc. is up to your discretion, of course. But I think there is something happening here, right? There's something good, bullish reversal type of price action is happening. So looking for buy, just make sure you understand when the buy happens. It may or may not hit the high here, right? It may or may not. It might just hit about halfway here and then start reversing. We don't know that yet. And so just be careful on that. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I think of Euro Pound. There is a potential upside, but personally, I'm not looking to enter this one, at least from my perspective. So. Yep, buy after, yeah, for sure. I do agree there is potential buy, but just like I said, it could just be on a lower time frame buy. Higher time frame here is a little bit still developing. This could be just a continuation to go lower. We don't know that yet, of course, but that's why I'm more hesitant or I'm more on the neutral side. I personally won't be entering here, but certainly if that fits your plan to enter, go ahead and do so. Hello, hello. 20th anniversary of 9/11. Is that happening soon? Is it? Oh, it's 2001 is 9/11, right? Wow, that's been 20 years already. Holy. Uh, would it drop the market? I really don't care, or I don't think so, or whatever. I think it's too much speculation. Everything I do, at least from my point of view, is all technical price action point of view. I really don't care too much about the fundamental or the news or whatever. Certainly, everyone trades differently, and people might be like, "Who's this guy talking about? He doesn't care about fundamental. What an idiot!" Right? I get that kind of I get those kind of comments a lot, so I don't try to argue or anything like that. Whatever strategy, style, analysis, news, ideas, however people want to trade, it's up to their discretion, right? So I never try to argue who's right or who's wrong, because there is no right and wrong when it comes to this. But I personally, I don't really care too much about fundamental. When I say fundamental, I'm talking about these type of news event kind of things, right? Forex news events or whatever, things like that. That to me is fundamental. Like, let's say some rate announcements, some random things, like some interest rates, some unemployment data. That to me is fundamental news. Whereas something like Brexit or presidential election, those are obviously bigger scale of news or news event kind of thing, where I will be more cautious with the market or what entries I have as well. So, but other than that, like I said, I don't really care too much about fundamental or people say or people think that will happen, because if something happened, the chart will happen first, right? This is what I always talk about, price action first, because if some news was to happen, well, the price action will indicate it, right? You're gonna see an impulsive move, and then if you see continuation, then you're likely to get further continuation afterwards, right? That is just how the price moves. So to me, I don't care too much about that. Okay. To me, yeah, trade rather by the news, exactly, because there is no need to. If we're going to worry about every news event or everything like that, then we're gonna be very stressful, right? Because there's like things happening everywhere in the world, things here, things that. Well, that's gonna happen regardless of what you can do, and you can never pre-anticipate that, right? Let's say when coronavirus happens, right? When coronavirus happened, um, I mean nobody anticipated coronavirus to happen, right? But the market will tell you, right? The market will tell you, the technical aspect will tell you, the price action will tell you, right? So we form a correction here, we impulsively break down, we follow by another continuation correction, and during February or March is when most of the market crash, right? So again, if it's going to crash, the market kind of already give you a pre understanding of a potential that's going to happen, right? But after the market crash, we basically start going to this reversal now, right? We start getting all this strength now, and then possibly just going to continue upwards, right? So do I cover stocks as well? I do. Like I said, stocks is for me to hold. I don't trade them. I don't day trade stocks or anything like that. But I do hold stocks for as investment and long term wise, like Tesla. Tesla, I have Tesla stocks since here. So I'm holding Tesla. I'm not trading them. Right? Again, it's the same as crypto, right? Like I don't day trade crypto. I don't day trade stocks. I just buy actual shares, right? I would buy actual shares and I'm just going to hold it for long term, right? Years to come, whatever. So I do go over stocks sometimes, right? Like Tesla. Since we're on the topic of stocks, we can talk about Tesla a little bit. So Tesla, after this impulse and move to the upside, we have this kind of continuation correction here. And I talk about if we break above here, if there is solid continuation, I do expect this move to push to the all-time high. So it's already kind of happening, which is good, right? So we can expect this move to continue to the upside. And then once it breaks the upside, we'll just kind of have to see what happens afterwards, if it's going to continue to the upside, or is it going to basically hit the top here, a potential reversal. But to me, it really doesn't matter. I'm already in. I'm gonna hold the stock as long as I can, so I don't really care too much. I will pay attention to it, but to me, all I see is upside move, right? So I'll also go over Nike as well. Nike is another stock I've been holding since here. So Nike has pretty much pushed up from here after breaking all-time high, right? So it's just continuation afterwards. And basically just holding the stock, right? So impulsive move, continuation correction. There was another buy move here for Nike. Again, I don't trade them, so I will make these analysis and then, but I'm just going to hold the stock here and see how it goes. What else to go over? Those are the only two. TVA, sure. This someone asked me this a while ago. I remember this symbol. So I don't see much here. I'll be honest. I don't know if you're looking for buy or short, but this looks like it is in a bearish trend. Okay, this looks like it's in a bearish trend because this is a impulsive move. This is a correction. We have another impulsive move. Nothing here looks like it's a bullish reversal, unfortunately. I don't know if you're looking for a sell buy, sorry, but I'm just thinking most people are looking for a buy, right? So I don't really see the buy setup here. There could be something here developing. There is like a small descending channel here. This certainly can move up, but because the overall price here doesn't look bullish, even if this move pushes up, it can still reverse back down again, right? So just need to be a little bit more careful here. And the overall trend to me doesn't look bullish, at least from my point of view. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there is any bullish activity here in my opinion, okay? I don't know how you're looking at it, so. Cardinal smart contract. I don't even know what a Cardinal smart contract is. I'll be honest. Can you teach or can you educate me on that? I haven't even heard of this term. I don't know if that's something that's being implemented new or something like that. I really have no idea. But if you ask me, I'm just looking at it strictly from a price action structure point of view. Right, impulsively down. This is a reversal structure clearly. Right, double bottom here, inverts hand and shoulder, and then continuation correction. So sometimes there is news events, sometimes there is things that push the price, yes, but to be honest, before this price is being pushed, everything else has already shown you from a price action technical perspective. So the news creates volatility or something happened, but like I said, before it happens, you kind of already know that's going to happen. That's kind of how I put it that way. So that's why I don't care too much about fundamental, is because if there was going to be a fundamental thing, uh, from a technical perspective, it already kind of show you the potential result of it, right? So that's why I see it this way. Can you check LIT BTC? Are you sure it's LIT or is something else you're saying? Okay. Lit Bitcoin. I don't have too much data here, but it looks like this is something that we're in the making. This looks like something that's in the making. Now, other than that, I don't really have too much data here, so I can't really give you too much. I don't even want to say this is going to be a buy, but I would prefer there is a little bit more data. I don't have too much data here, only back to February. But it looks like this, if it's on its own, this potentially can break up, followed by correction to go. But again, I don't like it, and I don't recommend doing that right away because I really don't have too much past data to look back at. Okay. Dot USD, sure. I think dot USD is looking pretty clear for upside. Um, I like how there is a original bullish up move. We can all see that, right? And then larger continuation, but end up pushing down. But we have this kind of a falling wedge now, right? So again, falling wedge is a reversal bullish kind of price action, and we can see that there is an impulsive break. So there's already kind of mini correction along the way. So I do like what the price is doing. I do expect price to hit this high as well. So if it can break this high here and then continue afterwards, then I definitely think this is going to be further bullish upside from the price here. Okay. Smart contract. Okay, good to know, my friend. Thanks, Cooper. I honestly don't know about smart contract or anything like that, so I appreciate that information there. Honestly, I don't know about that, so thanks for the update. Appreciate that. Moldana, sure. Let's take a look. Is that stock? This is the one you're talking about? No, or not this one here. I can't really see the symbol. Can you give me the symbol what you're looking at? MDRN? I don't even see that. Is this the one you're talking about? Okay, so Anything else, guys? Anything else for me to go over? I'm going to wrap it up very soon now. Wrap it up very soon. Been talking for an hour and a half now. Um, Basically, everything is looking pretty clean. I think everything is looking clean. Like I said, I will look for a potential entry on Aussie CAD if it does give me one. It's fine taking a loss here. Like I said, I will look to re-enter back into position if we get the right price action. If we get a consolidation here, and then I'll look to see what I can do. Depending on how the stop loss, or depending on how the correction may be, I think I can enter with the 20 or 25 pip stop loss, depending on how the price may give us or give me. And then same target, right? Same thing. I'm still looking for upside, the up here as a first potential target, and then certainly up here as a second potential target. But we'll see how this one goes. I think here is as a first target is totally fine. And we'll see if we get that next bullish run to the upside. That's what I'm looking for in the upcoming days. Anything else is kind of what I talk about earlier in the stream and in my Telegram. I talk about these few positions that are looking pretty clean. So watch these ones as well. If you're new to all this, if you like what I'm doing, you're welcome to watch and learn everything I have on price action analysis, every single correction structures, how I look at the market, risk management, trading psychology is all in here. So if you're interested, you're welcome to watch them for free. This is my channel on YouTube, Aries Trading. You can type in this. And if you like TradingView is where I share all my analysis ideas. These are not signals. I just want to make sure these are not signals. So make sure you understand when you look for positions, you have your own trading plan, risk management, how you want to enter, what's your stop loss, take profit, your management. Make sure you have your own way of entering. Okay, I don't give signals because that is not how traders can be a better trader by following signals. Honestly, that's my vision in all this. And in my Telegram, this is where I share all my links to my streams, my updates, my positions, my outlook, educational videos, recap videos, things like that. It's all here. You're welcome to join as well. All right. How to control emotion when my trade is right way. What do you mean right way? Samnath. How to control emotion when my trade is right way. What do you mean by that? Can you explain a little bit more? Our country Forex is illegal. Okay. In India, Forex is illegal? Are you sure? Oh, I mean, sorry, I'm not you're sure. Like, I'm surprised to hear that because there's a lot of Indian Forex traders, no? Or maybe you guys use something. Maybe they use something else to trade them. I don't know if they use VPN, right? Virtual private, virtual what? I use VPN. I'm not sponsoring or anything, but I use NordVPN. There's a bunch of VPN to use, right? But I use them when I go to places where I know it's not secure internet. You can jump into other countries as well, right? This is what I do. It's like when you go to places that doesn't allow certain thing, you can use the other country's internet to watch things. The best example here is like if you're in China, China doesn't allow Google and YouTube, things like that. Okay, probably surprise to some people or not surprised, but in China you cannot use Google, YouTube, things like that. What you can do is you use VPN and then you connect to like Hong Kong or something, and then you can use Google and YouTube again. This is what people do. So I just want to talk about that earlier because I thought like from China, yeah. Thanks a lot, Prince. Like and share this video from YouTube algorithm, recommend to other people. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't actively ask anything like that, but I obviously appreciate if anyone watching this is appreciate the content or appreciate the value, then I appreciate you guys share or like or comment or whatever. that's going to help me or help, like you said, help YouTube to pass along these videos to others, right? So that is how it works. Well, I'm slowly building up, Prince. I appreciate that. Slowly building up, slowly adding, right? Takes time. I'm not, from a trader perspective, I guess I'm not looking for instant gratification. I know I can put in time and effort. I know by putting in time and effort, I will eventually reach certain milestone, maybe in the years to come. But I'm okay with that, right? I could use some gray area. I think there's in YouTube and things like that. There's a lot of gray area that people use. I mean, I certainly don't want to go through this gray area because I'm just not that type to use those, clickbait or random, uh, what do you want to say, clickbait videos, title or thumbnails or things like that. I personally don't want to do that, nor I want to use those things as a method to accumulate more followers. Or I just want to do it the way that I want to do it, the way that I prefer, because I have inside myself, I want to say like a moral standard. It's just like something that I don't want to go against, right? Because when I talk about social media, when I go on like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, when I see a lot of things that people make, I don't necessarily agree with them, but I don't try to go against them or anything. But I don't necessarily agree with their tactics of, faking a lot of things, right? I made this video couple days ago. I made this video about why I don't like social media for trade trading because I see a lot of different things here that I don't think I really agree about. A lot to do with making fake accounts, fake trading accounts showing fake demo profits, pretending they capture some trades here and there, showing off their wealth, whether or not they're real wealth or not, like sports car, luxury goods, things like that. Where I'm not a big fan at all with that kind of tactic. Surely I can do the same if I want to, but I'm not really into that kind of stuff. And I don't want to build up an image like that either. I want to build up the image the way I want to build up. Definitely going to be slower than most of these people who approach it that way, but I'm fine because I'm here to stay for the next 30 years, right? Those are people who make that kind of stuff maybe are just here for a couple years, make enough money and they disappear, right? But I'm here, I'm real, I'm authentic. I want to be here for the next X amount of years as I physically can. And I know if I go down that road, I may not turn back, right? I don't want to waste all my energy and time where once I make that decision, I can't turn around. I cannot change the things I've done. So I never want to make that decision to get that result. So I'm fine with that, right? And I know I will attract the people who like these kind of contents and like the honesty and transparency from me. May not be faster than other guys, but I'm fine because I'm here to stay, right? I'm here to stay for the years to come. And maybe years later, I will reach them, but slower, but I will reach them the way I want to reach. So, laws of attraction, yeah, for sure. How did I get into Forex? That's how did I get into Forex? Let me think about this question. I started trading 8 years ago, if I can recall. 8 years, I think it was 2013 when I got into trading. I actually wasn't even trading Forex. I started trading stocks or maybe buying shares of stocks. This in 2013 when I started buying shares of stocks, something like that. And I obviously didn't do well. And then during that time, Forex is already big, right? And I was like somehow got sucked into, I don't want to say sucked in, sometime somehow got introduced into trading Forex because at the time there's already just as much social media promoting it just as now, right? Like 8 years ago, it was just as big as now. Now, usually when you like type in forex trading, like you're going to get these like scams or whatever messages or whatever things like that. I didn't think so. I didn't think trading was a scam at all. I never thought trading was a scam. I always thought it's the other application that's part of trading that people talk about as scams. So basically, they're thinking that trading courses, trading lessons, signals, or things like that. I think that's what mostly people are referring trade scams are, or maybe brokers. But I never thought trading as itself is a scam. So I always thought it's something that I wanted to work on to be a better trader of, or to be a better at it and things like that. So, but anyways, I that's how I got into trading. I don't think I was doing well, at least for the first 2.5 years. Very honest to say that, because nobody is going to be good at doing anything right away, especially trading. I think I made a lot of mistakes, ton of mistakes, and I'm happy to make those mistakes in the beginning, because that's how you learn and grow, right? You have to make mistakes, you have to journal down your trades, and you have to get better at your mistakes and willing to acknowledge the mistakes that you do. Okay, so that's kind of how I got into trading, and then just gradually get better at it, and then I would say I was not consistent. I was not consistent for the first 2 3 years, but being not consistent doesn't mean you're not making money. It's just your profit and loss is all over the place. You're not consistent, making consistent return. But as I gradually improve, I start doing a lot more changes. One of the biggest thing that helped is actually creating a journal. I don't know, for those of you guys who haven't done journal, is always a good thing that you need to do, because you need to journal your trades. I always talk about this. I have several videos on how to journal. You're welcome to watch me on YouTube. But basically, what makes me a better trader is actually just doing journaling, right? You journal your trades, you write down your forecast, you screenshot, you write down what happens afterwards. This is all going to help you to be a better trader. So for those of you who don't do this, or who are not doing this yet, please do it, because it will help you to be a better trader. Okay, so this is what I do every day, every month, everything. Like, this is what you should do to recap on your trade positions, and that's kind of how you're gonna be a better trader. It's simple as that. When you start looking back at your own mistake and you're not running away from your mistake, that's how you're gonna be a better trader in a long time. That's really there's no fancy thing. There's no holy grail. There's nothing here that isn't anyone else gonna do. Everything is very simple, right? So, but yeah, that is how I got into Forex. Do I know Car Young? I don't know who that is, sorry. Pound Kiwi. I mentioned Pound Kiwi earlier. I think Pound Kiwi has good potential sell if we can actually break down here and then continuation afterwards. Um, Setting up for a correction. Yeah. Um, I don't know what you're looking at. Do you think there's the correction here has already happened? No, I'm not sure if you want to jump in on here. I think it's a little bit too small, a little bit too risky. What I would do is actually wait for price to break out of this higher time frame correction and then another lower time frame correction. This is kind of what I mentioned on yesterday's outlook, yesterday's market update. I think entering here would be much more better than here, because it hasn't break out and we're getting very, very close to this bottom here. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Parth. Agree with you. Ethnic, your channel will grow. Yeah, I hope appreciate that as well. Thank you. I do not control emotion and always take small profits. Um, think of it as think of it as you need to have a good management plan. Okay, so think about something around like this. Now there is no right and wrong, so you gotta make sure you understand what's going on. Here is once you enter a trade, remember my way of managing a trade is unless the trade hits around 1-to-1 or more, like 1-to-1 risk reward, and if it breaks a certain previous high or something, then I'll move it to break even. Okay, so in this case, once it hits around this area here, I move it to break even. Okay, and then you can see there's several times when price dropped down, almost hitting my break even. It did not. Move to the upside, breaking above this high and out. And then I move it to, I think, 1-to-1 here, almost getting tagged out here again. And then I stay on my stop loss at 1-to-1, and then price continue to push up. Now, there's no right or wrong with management, because if you don't move up the stop loss to, let's say, break even or a small percentage, what if this start dropping down like this? So what was once a position that hit about 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 end up with a full 1% loss, this is going to create a lot of emotional drama more. Okay, so you need to make a decision now because there is no win-win situation or there is no perfect scenario where you can always manage it to the best liking, right? Don't get, don't let the social media cheat you. A lot of people on social media will just post a chart and say they enter here and then sell at the highest point with absolutely no reason, no analysis, anything like that. When they'll be like, oh, we share this with our VIP signal, you should buy them. Right? They're showing you, you have no idea if they enter these positions. You have no idea how they enter. All they want you to know is they enter at the very bottom and sell at the very highest. There's no explanation of that. So don't fall for that, right? We manage our trade actively because we cannot predict the future, right? We manage it accordingly. If I was to move up the stop loss to 2 to 1, I would get tagged out here and I would have missed this profit. So what do, right? You have to be consistent with your management approach. So move your stop loss to break even when it hit to 1 to 1 and previous high. Move your stop loss to 1 to 1 when you hit about 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, and then stay at 1 to 1 for now and watch how the market goes. Right. So once the market actually breaks above out of the correction, out of some sort of higher time frame correction or whatever, then you can manage or save a little bit more profit. Right. So if this continue to push the upside and form a correction here, I would definitely move my stop loss higher now because we managed to break out of the structure. So if this correction didn't work out and retrace, I'm going to get tagged out here for 4 to 5%. But if this is going to continue, then I'm going to hold the initial position and get in on the second position and look for price to push up to the high here. All right. So always write down how you plan to manage your position so you don't make emotional decisions based on the market, right? The market can do whatever it wants to do, right? It doesn't have to follow your plan. It doesn't have to follow my plan. It doesn't need to do what people want it to do, right? It can just start dropping down like no tomorrow, and there's nothing you and I can do about it. So we need to actively manage our positions based on the lower time frame movement. Okay, I hope that kind of explained, or there's a few videos I think that explains this as well. Risk management. I will make a video. This is one of the topic I will make a video about how to move your stop loss to break even or in profit, things like that. That's going to be a video to come in the near future. I'm still in the process of writing the video out and what I want to include there. So give me a little bit of time. I will make a video on that topic. Not related to Falcon FX. I usually get that question a lot. I didn't even learn from them to be honest, but there is many similar price action, impulse correction type of strategy out there, right? I'm definitely not the only one, and they're not definitely the only one. So there's a lot of different impulse correction, price action type of trading style or lessons or strategy or whatever you want to call. Um, you think what makes me work is there's combinations of videos that you can watch online, right? You can watch them on YouTube, you can watch them on TradingView, you can watch them on various platforms where they will explain exactly what I'm explaining here, right? So it's up to you or up to anyone to collect as much information and knowledge as you can and then come up with your own system, come up with your own acknowledgement on how the price is. So you can learn kind of what I'm talking about here, and then you can tweak it to your liking, right? You can tweak it to your liking. You can make additional tweaks, you can add in things, you can remove things, up to you, of course, and then make it into your own strategy that works for you, right? That is how trading is, and that's the ultimate part about trading is when you can comfortably do that, then you're going to be well off than most traders, right? Think about people who trade support and resistance. Don't you think people who trade support resistance all have their variation of support resistance? The fundamental support resistance, sure, people know that support resistance should have at least previous 3 touches, right? Whatever. I think most support resistant traders will understand their trading. You need to have at least 3 previous touches or whatever, right? Usually that is how support resistance works. But they all have variation of how they're going to enter or how they're going to use support resistance into their strategy, right? So same thing as people who trade Elliott wave or anything like that. Elliott wave is the fundamental, but they tweak the Elliott wave to their own perspective and to their own liking. Just like how we do price action, just like how we do impulse correction type of strategy, it's the same idea, right, guys? So take what you learn, tweak it to your liking, come up with your own plan, strategy, style that fits your perspective. Because what I explain here may fit for me, but may not fit for others, right? I'm more conservative. I'm more about risk management. I will not take multiple trades. I will focus on filtering trades. I understand risk management and management in general when your trades are in. Again, that's different from people because I have a larger account where I would be more cautious with the trades I enter, whereas other people who have a smaller account may be more inclined to enter more positions because they want to try to grow their account, right? So understand what trader you are, your perspective is going to help you in the long run. Trading style is nothing. Yeah. So that is it, guys. So to recap, I think this is where I will end today. To recap, I am in those three positions. I'm in Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss, we're looking to see what will happen here if we break out of this structure, which is looking like it will. So if we can break out continuation, like I said, looking for possible scaling, I think that's fine. Pound Aussie, I am currently in. Looks like there's a little bit of retracement here. That's fine. I'm just going to see if we're going to get consolidation here. I'm fine holding this position. Move my stop loss to break even, and then kind of monitor this area to see if we're just going to get further downside from the price. I'm also in silver. So silver is a trade I'm still in right now. So just got in here and then kind of just hovering around here. I'll see how it goes. Is it going to push up or push down? Doesn't matter to me. Gold looks like it's pushing up now, kind of exactly what I mentioned in my gold video here about the potential up move. And it looks like it's doing well, right? So it looks like the scenario one is this one here, and it's actually pushing up now, which is good. That's kind of what I was expecting gold and silver to do. And last one, like I said, Aussie CAD is a position that I will look to re-enter back again if we get a consolidation here. That is something that I will look to get back into this buy if I can, and looking to at least hit the high here, if not hitting the high of this overall parallel channel here. Okay, so four positions, three position running, and then currently in looking forward to Aussie CAD as well to see a potential buy on Aussie CAD. Okay. Last minute question. Because of me now, I'm not afraid of pulling the trigger when I see a opportunity because I'm not sure of the direction. Thanks a lot, man. I don't know if you knew how much I was struggling. Hey, don't worry. Don't worry, Edward. That's how trading is, my friend. So if you're getting better at it, if you're doing better at it, if it's more easier now for you to identify price action, then good for you, right? This is everyone has to go through some sort of learning curve, right? Some sort of learning curve. Why traders fail? Because they expect trading to be super easy. They expect trading to be easy like what social media portrays that, and they think that me buying into someone's course will automatically make me become a successful trader. But they forget that trading is just like any other profession that requires time, effort, energy, homework, contribution from that person, right? Trading is not like some get rich quick scheme like what social media or some people selling things portray as. It's definitely not easy. If you put in the hard work, it's going to be the hardest, easiest job in the world. Hardest meaning you need to put in all that effort and time in the beginning. Easiest means once you get it, it's just simple as black and white, right? There's nothing else you need to do. It actually saves you quite a bit of time. I don't spend that much time on charts at all, to be honest. I always tell people I only really look at the charts maybe 3 times a day and maybe 20 minutes each time, and I don't even look at the charts at all. I set my alert, I set my stop loss, I move on my stop loss, whatever, and that's it. I don't really need to look at it again, right? So uh, once you're comfortable, once you've done enough back testing, once you've done enough chart work, honestly, it just comes second nature, and you're just gonna be like there's I always talk about this with my coaching students is there's a line of consistency here. Most traders are struggling to break the consistency line, and they usually fail or they usually give up, and that's the end of their story. But once you break the consistency line, you're never coming back down ever. It's that simple. Once you are consistent, you are never going to come back down here. You're just going to continue take off. Okay, it's what people who fail to break through this consistency line is the traders who are struggling. And that's fine if you're in here. That's fine because you all have to go through this process in order to be consistent. But if you give up now, if you fail now, then you will never be a consistent trader, right? But if you manage yourself to continue strike hard, you're working hard, you know this is going to take maybe years for you to get consistent. But once you get consistent, like I said, you're never going back down. You're only going to continue move forward. Okay, so I hope that encourages people to understand that is a process. That is what trading is, or any profession, guys. Think about you being a doctor or physician, right? A doctor who takes 10 years of studies or whatever. Do they know that they, after 10 years, they will be wealthy? Sure, they do. But do they think on year one, year two, that they can be wealthy? Absolutely not, right? In year one, year two, you're learning, you're understanding, you're learning textbook, you're doing the fundamentals, you're actually getting practicums, you're learning, you're observing. After 10 years of that, then you become a doctor. Are you never going, once you become a doctor, are you going to not become a doctor? No, right? Once you're a doctor, you get your license, you get your certification or whatever you get that calls you as a doctor, then you're never going to not be a doctor, right? You're only going to continue move out to be a doctor. That is all, right? My everyday morning routine. Sure, I can share some things. Usually, I have a pretty busy schedule with everything I'm doing, trading and outside of trading. Trading is definitely not my only income. Let's put it this way. Trading is definitely not my only income. I have other passive income as well. But what I like about trading in the morning, I usually wake up around 6 a.m. in the morning, my time. I live in Vancouver, so that's Pacific Standard Time. I wake up around 6 a.m. because 6:30 is New York session. New York session's open, so I usually try to be there when New York session opens. So wake up at 6 a.m. and I do two streams a week, right? So I usually do today's stream, Monday stream, and then I have coaching and mentoring throughout, and sometimes I'll have the sessions in the morning as well. So basically, every day I'll be up around 6 o'clock in the morning. So after stream or coaching sessions or mentoring, whatever, usually goes up to about 9 o'clock now, which is right now. It's 9:04 a.m. here in my time. And usually this is when I will actually stop, right? And then I will just finalize anything I need to do on the charts. And then that will be it for my chart, at least till now. And then I will go down, maybe have breakfast or something like that. Or I have my daughter and my wife, so we're at home. I'll hang out with them a little bit. And usually my wife has some she has a business that requires to do purchasing. Let's just put it this way. So I'll go with her to outlets or malls or stores to check out things till about noon. We'll usually eat lunch at home or eat outside, doesn't matter. And then a little bit till into the afternoon when my daughter usually will take a nap. So when my daughter takes a nap, that's when around 1 or 2 o'clock, let's say, the market is rolling over, right? That's the end of the market. So that's the time I'll look at the chart again. I'll look at the chart again around 2 or 3 during rollover time. And then from afternoon till night, till about dinner time, I will focus on other things I have. So there's other things that I focus on. I also do car rental stuff. This is nothing to do with trading, but what I do is I rent out cars on Toro. I don't know if you guys ever experienced something like this. This is probably more North America stuff, but what we do is you can rent out cars, you can make money off it. This is another passive income, probably a story for another day. But this is the same thing as Airbnb. Those of you who know Airbnb is basically living in other people's home. Toro is basically renting other people's car. Um, so it's like Uber, Airbnb, Toro. They're basically people's way of dealing with taxi, people's way of dealing with renting, staying at a hotel, or people's way of renting cars, right? So that's what I do and focus on. And when it comes to nighttime, we'll eat dinner either with my family or maybe I'll go out with friends, whatever, depending on what the plan is. And then after, before I sleep, around 9 or 10 or 11, 10 or 11 usually, I'll look at the market again. That's usually before London market opens. I basically sleep through the whole London market, just so you guys know. I don't stay out of the London market. I will sleep around 10 or 11, usually around 11 or so, and make sure I go through the market again. That's the third time of the day I go through, and then I'll go to sleep. And then I'll wake up at 6 again and repeat the process. So that is basically my routine, really. Obviously, it changes from whatever things you're doing or things like that, whatever, but that is generally what my day would be like. Yes, you can contact me on coaching. Just private message me, Robin, on Telegram. Click when you're in Telegram, just click here. Then you can message me on here. You just private message me if you want. Do I think crypto price action is different than stock price action? I don't. I think all price action are exactly the same. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at it from the Forex market. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at the commodities market. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at crypto. Doesn't matter if I'm looking at stocks. Everything to me is the same. Okay, everything to me is the same. Disregard what market or what instrument or what everything, because that is what price move. So that's probably a better news for a lot of people who thought maybe some of their other strategy doesn't work on crypto or whatever or stocks, whatever. To me, the way how price action works is identical. There's absolutely nothing changes from a price action point of view. Everything is exactly how it is. So Vancouver is the best traders live. I should move there. I would probably think New York or Toronto or London. London probably has the most traders, I think. London, Switzerland, no, not Switzerland's country. London, Toronto, New York, LA maybe, Singapore. So in Singapore, in Shanghai, Hong Kong, I think there's a lot of traders there as well. So I look very young. How old do you think I am, Parth? Just curious. Recommend good broker for Forex and crypto. I actually don't have the same. So for Forex, I use Oanda. I use AxiTrader for Forex. For crypto, I use Kraken. I use Binance and Coinbase. I mainly use Kraken now, but I have Binance and Coinbase as well. I think for crypto, it's best to use those bigger ones. So like Kraken, Coinbase, Binance, uh, or Crypto.com. I think those are all good. For Forex, I think Forex.com is fine. IC Market, Saxo Bank. Uh, uh, what else is there? Forex.com, yeah. I don't want to say FXCM. I think FXCM is done. I don't want to say bad things. I don't think FXCM is good. So don't use FXCM. On the Axie Trader, IC Market, Saxo Bank, um, other ones, right? You're gonna find ones that are reputable and they are backed up by their government regulation. Right. So when you find a broker, I'm not introducing any broker, so please don't call me on which broker is best or whatever. When you use any brokers, it's best to understand why you need to make sure to find one that is um, that have rules, right? Like that have regulations that you can make sure it's safe to use. What did I go from? Yeah, I'm so bad at finding this. There should be a link to it. things like this, right? When you go to any broker, they should work with that country's what do you call this? Like their government thing. Like in Europe or in something they're usually by some FCA kind of thing in Europe, right? In Canada, it's called IROC. In US, it's called something else. Like basically, you want to make sure that they are satisfied by each country's regulation, right? That means the country actually backs you up, backs that broker up in case of any bad practices and things like that. So you want to find brokers that are going to have something like this, which is going to help you. Something like this in Canada is what we call IROC. What this does is if anything happens to your money, like not because you lose the money, like let's say the broker took your money or the broker goes bankrupt, what they do is they're eligible for money, right? So let me see. So basically, this tells you that if this broker was to go bankrupt or take your money or run away or whatever the case may be, they are going to compensate you your money and things like that, right? That's why something you want as a security, as a backup almost. And not every brokers, those shady ones definitely will not be covered by something like this, right? So you have to be a reputable broker to be satisfied by the government organization to back up something like this. Other than that, you won't, right? So. Could you recommend a good broker now? Like I said, those ones, maybe 20 to 22 years old. I'm 31 this year, buddy. I'm 31 years old today or this year. So definitely not 22, 22. Sorry to say that. Good thing that you think I look young, but I'm not. So I'm 31 this year. So I started trading when I was 23, I think. 23 plus 8, 31. Yeah. So I'm 31 this year. I'm going to turn 32 in September, actually. So, okay, everyone. So, going to wrap it up now. Yeah, 2 hours here, a little bit over. But hey, I'm glad these questions. I'm glad to answer these as well. I'm happy to answer these questions as well. Actually, I don't get too much of these questions, but I'm happy to answer some, personal questions, some personal interest, things like that. I'm fine to answer those. I'm fine to share them as well. So. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up today. Nice to see you guys. Appreciate that. I will see you guys all again on Monday, of course, right? Monday is when my weekly stream market update will be. So I will always make a recap video of the week, how the trade has gone and things like that. That's what I do for every week. You guys can capture a more detail into why I enter trade and what's my stop loss and what's the result of the trade in particular, and then go from there. Okay. So any question, you're welcome to message me on Telegram or message me any other platforms I have, like TradingView, YouTube, or Telegram, whatever. You can message on all the platforms. If I see it, I'll make sure I answer. But other than that, feel free to join my Telegram in my group. You can ask questions, interact with others, and things like that. And I'll try my best to answer questions when I get time. And that's about it, guys. So thank you very much. I like all the happy faces. Thank you very much for being here with me today. And hope to see you guys all next time. All right. Be safe out there, everyone. Be healthy. Be safe. And see you all next week. Thank you very much.